Hi y'all. Do you know that art is in fact hard? No, I wasn't saying I was a fool because I didn't know how to operate the camera. I was saying I was a fool because I got dressed. So it's too small, which is very tragic. Had to go lay down. Now we seem rip. I graduated like 4 years ago now, 5. Math is hard. Art is hard. Anyways, one of the things since graduating that I've really struggled with artistically, my day job is I'm a software developer. I get lots of structure there. Is art structure and finding how to make myself make capital A art. Graduated, I have taught myself a bunch of different things, from like resin to tapestry weaving to how to play the bass, but I'm still missing whatever that magical thing is that goes from a hobby to art. What we're here for. We are going to make our own structure, and we're going to teach ourselves new things, and we're going to learn together as a community. Here is, we're going to try. The goal is each week, but that's an aspiration, a goal. Is to try to make a complete work of art, capital A, art, in every medium that exists. And I hope through this project, for me, I get structure and that kind of like feeling you get when you're like in an art class doing critique and you feel that energy. And I hope for y'all, whoever y'all might end up being, that art becomes less scary. So I hope that this helps and makes it less scary. Great. That was very fluffy. What does that mean? I think 3 questions that whenever I start thinking about stuff like that is, what's art? What is a complete work of art? I mean, what's a medium? So this whole project is about making your own structure and finding your own community. And with that control that we get, that means we get to answer those questions however we want. Let's answer those questions. Let's start at the easy ones. What's a medium? So according to our good friends at Britannia, a medium by technical definitions are the liquids added to paints to bind them and make them workable. In the wider meaning of all various paints, tools, supports, surfaces, and techniques employed by painters. So that's our Britannica definition, and I think it's pretty good outside of just that bound, but I think it's a good start. Think about what is an art medium. That's literally anything. So it can be our very traditional mediums like canvas and panels and oil paints, to garbage, to, you know, new cutting edge things like drawing in 3D spaces in VR, pastry, acrylic nails, decorating time with music, like 7 traditional categories of art. I think it's 7. Visual art, body art, literary art, performing arts, culinary arts, and design. So inside of our visual art, this is going to be things like architecture, which can be broken up even further to interior design, gardening, residential architecture. For things like digital spaces, we have ceramics, which can be things like cookware that you use. We have very traditional drawing, painting, photography. Then we have sculpture, which I've had also to include a bunch of different things because sculpture is broad. Fiber art and digital art. So these ones are not on the traditional list. So paper art. So in the body art stuff, we have hair, nails, and makeup. All right, so our next one of our traditional art categories is literary art. Huge category of film and movies. Culinary art, design. With this though, that's obviously one person's opinion and one person's research. So that is not enough to definitively prove that we have got them all. So that is where y'all come in. I have Google Forms for y'all. And if you think I missed something or you want more information about something else, you're just gonna type it in and then put a feedback. The next question that we had to ask ourselves is, what does it mean to be complete? The goal for complete, it would be something that I feel can be turned in. To talk about like failure, it's okay, because art is hard. The completion will be that we learned a lesson. We had a technical oopsies, so we're starting again right after I talk about failure. That's how it works. Okay, so let's talk about this and we'll wrap up. What's art? I don't know. So typically we get things broken up into crafts, design, capital A, art, and then like art. So crafts are typically things that are that typically serve a purpose before they serve a form. We have design, and what my difference between design and art is going to be is design is meant to specifically get you to do an exact action. So for example, a Coca-Cola bottle design is meant to get you to buy Coca-Cola. And then we can make art about it, and art might tell us to do something, but it will typically not be that specific. The other thing that I want to talk about is capital A art versus art. So when we think about things like this poster that's above my head, or we think about what gets put into a museum, there's a difference, but what is it? So what we will be considering capital A art is art that is meant to do something. General art that is just, art. It is a object that does not exist to perform a certain function, and it is also not there to make us do something. That's our rules. I want to talk one more thing about a lot of art supplies will be labeled as expensive, and so what I do want to talk about before we wrap up real fast is art does not need to be expensive. We're going to follow Sarah L's hierarchy of needs. We will try for every single project, use what we have, don't buy anything. We're going to try to borrow from our friends and include that sense of community by asking them also to share their knowledge with us. Swap. So for instance, one of my friends is an avid knitter, so every time I go and I buy a weird bundle of junk of, miscellaneous sewing supplies, I give her all the yarn. Thrift, again, going to a junk store and buying a huge thing of sewing supplies, such a wonderful way to really round out a sewing kit for very little money. And you also save it from going to a landfill, so that's nice. Make, one more note on thrifting, dumpster diving. I found a really, really nice set of pastel crayons, and they were just gonna be thrown away. And we thrifted them, so now they don't get thrown away. And those are free. Make, so this might be stuff like making our own paper, making our own journals, and at the very, very end is buy. And this one I will also have a little bit of specificity in it. So when we're talking about buying stuff, I want to try to keep the ecological impacts as low as possible. So we will try to buy local. We will try to buy only what we need. And we are going to try our best to not order stuff online. All right, that is our rules, our definitions, our guidelines. I will see y'all next week, hopefully, with a completed artwork.